In 1859, Darwin spilled the first splashes of his universal acid, and the effects were like magic, burning human arrogance into ashes in exactly the same way that Copernican math did. No, the stars don't shine just to improve the view from Earth. No, we're not the center of the universe. No, we weren't created in the image of Jupiter. No, we're not so special, and yes, the truth hurts. But that's how evolution works once it's been applied. The acid burns in the superstitious side of the human mind, and it fills with light. It even dissolves the original sin of pride. The pride that says, I'm a special creation of my Creator, has given me dominion over nature, and He has the power to replenish His creatures, so if species go extinct, He can recreate them later. And if He doesn't, well, that's just part of His plan. But Darwin's acid is hard to withstand. It plucks the arrogance deep from within the hearts of man and teaches us never to build our houses on sand. But listen, to try to understand why we're here. Our species among millions is this biosphere, each with millions of ancestors whose fighting spirits combine to give us this great survival gear. These minds, these limbs, these incredible tools, perfected by millennia of competitive use, and yes, these attention-seeking genitals too. Without them, these living forms could never improve. It's such an elegant view, full of breadth and grandeur, and yet some people react with depression and anger, like it's so unsympathetic, so viciously random. What's the point of compassion or ethical standards? If this is just a game that organisms are trapped in, genetically adapting to environmental factors, then there's no responsibility for individual actions. Where's the governing dynamic? Well, once again, Darwin gives us some answers. He says, yes, everything from violence and violence are verses consisting of organisms adapting in environments. If you're alive, it's because your ancestors were the best survivalists. They were the finalists in the genetic Olympic Games. Every one of your ancestors lived to reproduce age, and they were all better than their competitors at getting laid. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here today. There's something inspirational in this vision of Darwin's, and it goes like this. Organisms, like us, are not isolated. Organisms are part of an environmental mix, so your decision affects evolution. It's not directionless. Now, before you dismiss me as a mad environmentalist, just try to imagine how natural selection applies to countries that have industrialized. Companies live and companies die. And when consumers buy based on companies' green plan, the effects of economy, just ask Alan Greenspan. Cultural evolution is our reinvent. Wait, can we affect current events? Yes, we can. Now, when we choose who to sleep with and reproduce, our sexual choices affect the gene pool. So it's simple. All we need to do is refuse. To sleep with mean people and things will improve. Especially women. On you, your pressure is greater, because men will always do what it takes to get in your favor. That's just in our nature. So if selfish behavior, what a sexual graveyard, the effects would be major. In each of these cases, our intentional efforts can play the part of environmental pressure. I can say, this is space where a peaceful mind existence will never be threatened by needless aggression. I can say this is an ecosystem where people listen, where justice increases over egotism. This is a space where religious achieve coexistence and racism decreases with each coalition. This is my vision of Darwinism and how we all factor in. Each of us is a part of an environment. We pass through it and change it and affect the way that others adapt to it. And after we get to look back and see how we impacted it, and maybe laugh at our sense of humor is still alive. And what did Charles Darwin do? Darwin threw some light on the original of mankind, and he left us with skewered pride. But he taught us that yes, there is a grander view of life. There is a grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers having been originally breathed into a few forms, or into one, and that, whilst this planet has gone cycling on according the fixed law of gravity from so simple a beginning, endless forms, most beautiful and most wonderful, have been and are being evolved.